What's up again, everybody? Keyforge Worlds Collide is nearly upon us. We're only a few weeks away, but honestly, I could not wait any longer. I knew that there was a Target near me that had the Keyforge Worlds Collide starter boxes. They had like 6 of them. I didn't end up going and buying 6, but I did end up going and buying one of them. I kept my composure and I held myself back from buying too many of them, but I was really excited about it, so I thought I'd buy one at least. I already cracked it open, as you can see. I'm not going to do like an unboxing video, but I am going to talk about the 2 decks that I got. I was walking out of the store with the thing, and then this thought crossed my mind after buying it, and I thought to myself, man, you know what would suck? It would really suck if I got 2 decks in here that didn't have any of the new stuff. And I opened the first one and I got this, and I was like, oh no, it's Brobnar Dis Shadows. Like, that's nothing of the new stuff, and I guess Shadows and Dis I like, Brobnar's okay, But then I did open this one up, and I got Saurian in there along with Logos and Untamed. So let's take a look at both of the lists and see what we think about the new cards in this set. All right, let's start with the first one that I opened, which was this one, Mistress Eye Titan Axe, which is again a Brobnar Dis and Shadows deck. This is the first one I opened. I was kind of worried that I would not hit anything new, but this deck is actually pretty sweet, so let's take a look at it in this order that I saw them. The first one is the Shadow Council. Elf, Leader, Thief, so 3 different things there. This is a creature. It looks like it shouldn't be a creature, but it totally is. 3 power, Shadows, Elusive, and while the Shadow Council is in the center of your battle line, it gains Action Steal 2. Action Steal 2 is really, really good. You just have to put it in the center of your battle line, so play stuff around it. That would be the best. This is a rare. Okay, continuing on. Customs Office, good old Customs Office. I actually never had a deck with Customs Office, so this makes my first, which is pretty cool. Whisper, another new creature. Elf Thief creature, 3 power, elusive and action, lose 1, and if you do, destroy a creature. This one's ridiculously cool. I like that it kind of pushes you towards that creature control, board control stuff, and in Shadows no less. Special Delivery, a pretty decent little artifact, gives you an amber for playing it, which at the very least is pretty good. Yangtze Gang from the previous set, not a bad card. Not a great card, but not a bad card. Trust No One. This is a cool one. It says play, steal 1, and if there are no friendly creatures in play, instead steal 1 for each house represented among enemy creatures to a maximum of 3. So literally play this card, steal 2 on average is pretty solid if you have no creatures in play. It's not bad. Then we have Simon, a 1 power Elf Thief. Skirmish, and then fight. Put the creature Simon fights on top of its owner's deck. This is really cool because you're almost never going to kill something with Simon, so his effect is always going to go off as long as he's survived to your second turn after you play him the first time. Skirmish means he's going to survive to use that fight effect. A pretty neat little design of a card. I love the way they designed these 2 Simons. I've actually, since opening this, I've actually forgotten what's in this deck, so outside of some pretty good ones. Kymor Eclipse. This is it's an action that says shuffle each flank creature into its owner's deck. This hits you and your opponent, so you do have to keep that in mind, but if you play around this during your turn and then play this, you could do some pretty cool things, especially if you had some interesting shuffle effects. We have Bad Penny, back from the dead, showing back up. Not a great card in this deck. She is a thief, though, so if there's thief's synergy in the deck, that'd be good. We have Avinda, or yeah, Avinda. It can't be Avinda. That would be weird. Also an Elf Thief, 4 power. It says Reap, deal 1 to a creature, and if this damage destroys that creature, your opponent discards a random card from their hand. Oh, goodness gracious. Would you look at that? This totally has a nice little combo. I like that. Force your opponent to discard some stuff. And there's 2 of them. I forgot there were 2 of them in here. Again, don't remember the list, but I remember going, hey, this deck is actually pretty sweet. On to the rare. Oh, no, this is the unique. Check this out. Dexus. This is onto Dis. A 5 cost, or 5 power. God, I'm going to keep saying cost. 5 power creature. He's a demon. After your opponent plays a creature on their right flank, they lose 1. So this just makes your opponent's life a little bit more miserable. Which is funny because if they don't have any creatures in play, every creature they play is on the right flank. At least the first one, I should say. Then we have Poltergeist, one of my favorite old school cards. Gives you an amber, and then you get to destroy your opponent's artifact while using it, or use it first and then destroy. Hysteria, it's another good little bounce effect. It's good if you have play effect creatures in other houses as well, which we might. Gleeful Mayhem, this is a new card, gives you an amber, and it says for each house, deal 5 to a creature of that house, which is pretty cool. This one's hilarious. Eye on the Fringes. It's an imp. It's a 1-power creature. It's elusive, and then it says, during your turn, after you discard a discard from your hand, you may purge a discard from the discard pile, and if you do, steal 1. That's so stupid. It's like not even like that useful. They just wanted a card with wordplay. Good for them. We've got Infernus, a 4-cost. There, I said it again. It's a 4-power creature, demon. It says play, purge up to 2 cards from a discard pile. Your opponent loses amber equal to the total amber bonus of the purged cards. Again, this would be great if you could play it with like Hysteria, right? And would you look at that? You totally can, which is sweet. I love decks with little synergies like that. And there's 2 of them, right? So you got that consistency built in, and you could play them both, and then Hysteria them, and then play them again. And so you could purge 8 cards from your opponent's discard pile on that one turn if you played them both, and then Hysteria them, played them again. And then they lose just a ton of amber, all of their amber. Harbinger of Doom, I remember seeing this card spoiled. This card looked pretty good. 2 power, I almost said cost, but I saved it. 2 power, 3 shields, so 3 armor. And then it says destroyed. Destroy each creature. So just straight up, just kills everything, because it is, after all, a Harbinger of Doom. And then we have Festering Touch. The art on this card is super sweet. Festering Touch is an action, gives you an amber. It says play, choose up to 2 creatures, deal 1 to each chosen creature, and if that creature was already damaged, deal 3 instead. So a good little board clear mechanism. You could actually pop a couple of things that you own and bounce them. 2 Festering Touches, good. Got to get your second one in there. I like the consistency of this deck. I like repeated cards. Binding Irons. This card is so good. It's so good. It's so mean. So why not put 2, right? I remember there were 2 of these in there. One of my favorite decks is a deck from the previous set, Age of Ascension, and it has 2 Binding Irons and 2 Banishes. And it's mean, and it's really fun. And yes, this is a Mega Alaka. Yes, which means if we flip this over, we've got Alaka's Brew on the other end, which is pretty cool. So Mega Alaka is a buffed version of just Alaka. 6-power creature giant. If you have used a creature to fight this turn, Mega Alaka enters play ready. Not the best of the targets that you can get for a Witch's Brew, but it's not bad. Ragwarg. It's an artifact. Gives you an amber when you play it, and it says after a creature reaps, if it is the first time a creature has reaped this turn, deal 2 damage to it. The downside to this I see, I like how the quote is, touch it, I dare you, by Pingle Who Annoys. The downside to this I see is this deck kind of wants to get its amber through reaping, because there's not a ton of just free amber floating around. I guess the Shadows does have a little bit of steal, but not a crazy amount. Ogopogo, 6-power creature giant. If you're after Ogopogo attacks and destroys a creature, you may deal 2 to that creature, to a creature, excuse me. So he just punches something, gets to deal 2 to something else. Gravel Guts. I almost said Gravel Guts. That's not it. Gravel Guts, 5-power creature giant. After an enemy creature is destroyed fighting Gravel Guts, give Gravel Guts 2 +1 power counters. So as long as you can get him through that first attack, he starts snowballing nicely. Trimmer. Nice little underrated card. Stun a bunch of stuff, make things uncomfortable for your opponent. So let's throw 2 of them on there. This deck, man, just wants to make things uncomfortable for your opponent. Don't play stuff on the side or you lose amber. Repeat play effects, do weird steal things, and then stun your opponent's stuff. It just makes them want to do, it makes them like shoehorn their play into one way. Stiltkin here is a 2-power creature goblin. It's got skirmish, and then it says after a giant creature is played adjacent to Stiltkin, ready and fight with Stiltkin. We do have a lot of giants in here so far, so you slam him down, put some giants next to him, and get some free damage. Again, board clear is pretty decent in this deck. Mog Hunter, 6-power creature giant, fight. Deal 2 to a flank creature. Has a lot of flank synergies in this deck, it looks like. Stuff that removes your opponent's flank stuff. Grog Ninetoes, 5 power creature giant. Grog Ninetoes gets +4 power while it is damaged. He only gets that if he survives the damage. It's nice that they put the parenthetical text here because that could create confusion. That clears up the timing right away. Berserker Slam is an action that gives you an amber, and then it says play, deal 4 to a flank creature, and if this damage destroys that creature, its controller loses 1. So that's pretty cool. Oftentimes, this deal 4 to a flank is just going to kill something. So this is a gain 1, kill something, and lose 1. Your opponent does. And then so we have 2, because of course that card is good. So why not put 2 in there? And then finally we have the Alaka's Brew, which gives you an amber, and then it says play, give a creature 2/+1 power counters, which is fine, I guess. But the fact that this card has, or this deck, excuse me, has 2 uniques in it is pretty cool. It's got the Brew that people are kind of talking about, and then it's got the very first one, there it is, the Dexys, which is also a pretty cool card that makes things just a little bit more uncomfortable. I ended up really, like, after opening this and getting over the initial frustration of like, oh man, this deck doesn't have a new house in it, I actually ended up really liking this deck. I think it's really cool. All right, for the second deck, I was like crossing my fingers that I would get some new house and then some interesting stuff, and it turns out I got a new house and my favorite house, which is Logos. So let's take a look at it. This is Gruev Murtowers Scholar. All right, first card is Mab the Mad. It's a creature. It gives you an amber when you play it. It's a 2 power creature. It's a fairy, and it says reap, shuffle Mab the Mad into your deck. So you get an amber by playing it. Then you can, if it survives, obviously, then you can reap with it, put it back into your deck, so you can possibly get another amber after playing it. Pretty cool card. I like that. So let's put 2 of them in the deck. Why not, right? I think that's a really cool design. Self-shuffling cards like Time Traveler have just generally been good, especially when they come attached with an amber, right? It's like a bad Time Traveler. Look at that. I guess it's actually, is it even that bad of a Time Traveler? This is sort of like a gain an amber. It doesn't draw you 2 cards, so I guess that's the downside. But then get an amber, shuffle it back in. Whereas before, when you shuffled him back in, the Time Traveler that is, it was just an action. So that one's interesting. Okay. Low Dawn is an action that gives you an amber, and it says play if there are 3 or more untamed creatures in your discard pile, gain 2, and then shuffle them in from your discard pile to your deck. So even if these Mab the Mads die, you can play this, gain 2, and then as long as you have 3, and then shuffle them into your deck again, which is really cool generation. Moving on, we have Kangafent, or Kangafent, I don't know how you pronounce it. 5 power creature beast. Each creature gains reap, destroy this creature. That makes things a little awkward because we want to reap, shuffle this, and then this says reap, destroy it. So this card is a little bit clunky so far. Maybe there's something better. Oh, there's 2 of them, okay, because you need the 2, right? So it's not the greatest card there, but maybe that's good control. Fog Bank, that card's back, and it's really good. Gives you an amber, and then it says they can't fight your creatures. So, hey, look at this. This is a cool combo. Play a Kangafent. They can't fight your stuff. They have to either do nothing with their creatures or reap, or play a house that isn't on the board, because you've made Fog Bank basically, stop them from attacking your stuff, making them have to reap and kill their stuff. Tantadlin. Tantadlin. I like Tantadlin. He's a tree. This is a 9 power creature that only deals 2 when fighting, and says fight, discard a random card from your opponent's archives. So not bad, not great, not my favorite. But we do have Key Charge in the deck. So if we can ramp up with those Mab the Mads, then Key Charge is a possibility. Some way to bounce them would be good too. Ghost Hawk. This is a really pretty card. 2 power creature beast. It says deploy, so you could put it anywhere on the battle line that you want instead of on the flanks. It says play, you may reap with each neighboring creature 1 at a time. So we can either do one of 2 things. We can jam the Ghost Hawk in between 2 Mab the Mads, and then reap with them, gain 2 amber, and shuffle them. Or, even better, we can play the Ghost Hawk in between our 2 Kangafents, kill both of our Kangafents. There you go. That's the combo right there. Let's play it up, man. That's so stupid. Deepwood Druid. 3-power creature, Elf Witch. Kill all the witches, right? In this game, that's what you do. It has deploy, so again, it can go anywhere. And then it says play, reap, fully heal a neighboring creature. This is pretty good with, like, I guess Tentadlin's not bad with it, but Kangafence, you can fully heal your Kangafence, which is pretty nice. Because, again, it deploys and has a play ability. 2 of them. And a 3-body's not bad. Bramble Lynx. Look at the art on that. That's pretty. 3-power creature, beast, skirmish. If you have used a creature to reap this turn, he enters play ready, which has great combo potential with those Mab the Mads again. And this also technically does have some combo there. All right, moving on to Saurian. This is where the deck got really spicy to me. I like this deck a lot because of the dinosaurs. 4-power, 2 armor creature. He's a dinosaur politician. Everyone needs a job, right? Elusive. Play. Capture 10 amber from any combination of players. Then if Crassosaurus has fewer than 10 amber on it, purge him. So you look at that and kind of scratch your head going like, so if you don't have a total of 10 between you and your opponent, you just don't play this card. You discard it. If you do, you play it and then capture it. Now, normally that would be like, I'm just giving my opponent some amber. But just wait. I'm going to set this card over here because at first I hated this card, and then I looked through the deck some more. There's Pterodactyl, which is a really cool card. It's a 2-power creature beast, and it enters play stunned, and it only deals 4 damage when fighting, but before fighting, deal 4 to each neighbor of the creature that Pterodactyl fights. So he's a big dude. You got to get through that stun first, and he only deals 4, but he technically deals 12 as long as your opponent has some flank creatures, because it'll pop all 3 of them for 4. Regrettable Meteor. Destroy each dinosaur creature and each creature with 6 power or higher. This is good if Saurians are good. I guess it can kill your own stuff if you wanted that. Technically, this Pterodactyl is a beast and not a dinosaur, so it wouldn't die. This does also give you an amber. And it wipes the board of like Brobnar stuff, which is pretty cool. Exile. All right, here we go. This is the one. This is the moment. I read this card and I went, aha! There's a combo here. Give you an amber, and then it says play. Give control of a friendly creature to your opponent. So, if you play Crassosaurus, you take like, I don't know, 2 of your amber and 8 of your opponents, or more likely like 5 of yours, 5 of your opponents, right? You play it down. You then exile it, giving it to your opponent. Now you have the capability of killing it at some point and just gaining the 10 amber. So you get your amber back and you take your opponent's essentially for a 2-card combo. Plus you're gaining an amber from it. So that's a pretty cool little combo. It's not great, but it made me go, I want to try that sometime. Draco Praco. I don't know if that's how you say it. Probably not, but someone will correct me in the comments. 4-power, dinosaur politician again. He has Reap. You may exalt Draco Praco, and if you do, choose a house, enrage each creature of that house. I'm not going to jump into the exalt and the enrage sort of keywords or the effects, but do know that if you are exalting something, I believe you're taking an amber and putting it on it, but I could be wrong. I've forgotten since then, so I won't deal with it. I will just let you take in the effect itself. Tricerian Legionary is a 5-power, 1 armor creature dinosaur soldier that has taunt, and when you play it, you ward a friendly creature, which is pretty cool. There's some ward synergy in the Saurians, which I think we're going to see. Praefectus Ludo, 5-power creature dinosaur politician yet again. Each other friendly creature gains destroyed. Move each amber on its creature to the common supply, which is pretty neat. So all of those wards or anything that puts amber on your creatures, you can just avoid that completely, giving it to your opponent, I mean, by playing him, because it just goes to the common supply, which is nice. And so we have 2 of them. Why not, right? Got some synergies there if we're putting stuff onto our cards. Speaking of, Legatus Raptor is a 4-power, 1 armor creature dinosaur soldier. It says fight. You may exalt him, and if you do, ready and use another friendly creature. So as long as he can stick around, his 4-power, 1 armor may help with that. But as long as he can stick around early, you can fight with him and then ready and use other creatures. And they don't even have to be in-house. You can just ready and use them. So ready and fight some more, control the board, or ready and reap, ready and use an action. Pretty cool. Chant of Hubris, an action that gives you an amber and says play, move 1 amber from a creature to another creature. which is cool. It does not technically say you can move. It doesn't say that you have to move it from one of yours to another one of yours. You could technically take one of the amber on your creatures and put it on your opponent's creatures so that you can then kill it and get the amber. And Axiom of Grisk. Ward a creature, destroy each creature with no amber on it, and then gain 2 chains. So it's a board wipe, which is nice. So there's 2 of them, right? Because you need 2 board wipes. Why not? I love the double ups. I love consistency in decks. Crazy Killing Machine, an old school an old school artifact that has an action ability. Seismo Entangler. This was a pop up in the previous Age of Ascension set. I once had a bad beat against this, like 3 or 4 turns in a row. This card just shut me down. I didn't respect it, and I didn't play around it in any way, shape, or form, and the dude just wrecked me with it, which was kind of a bummer. But it was kind of cool to see it go off the way it did. All right, Reassembling Automaton. It's a 3-power creature robot experiment. It says, destroyed if you have any other creatures in play. Instead of destroying Reassembling Automaton, fully heal it, exhaust it, and move it to a flank. So he just doesn't die as long as you have any other creatures in play. He just sticks around, which is super cool. It means you can also trigger it yourself with things like, I don't know, Positron Bolt. I don't know why you would, but you have the possibility to do that. Deal 3 to a flank, deal 2, then deal 1. It's a good old school card. Good art. Mini Groupthink Tank. It's a 3-power, 2-armor creature robot experiment. It has both play, fight, and reap. And it says deal 8 to a creature that shares a house with 2 of its neighbors. So as long as your opponent is playing 3 creatures that are all from the same house, this just pops it and does 8, so it just kills it. And then it has the Groupthink Tank along with it. So we've got the mini and the tall, the big guy. 4-power, 3-armor creature robot experiment. Action, deal 4 to each creature that shares a house with at least one of its neighbors. So this is a little less restrictive. It can just pop a lot more stuff, which is pretty sweet. Thorium Plasmate, which is a really cool looking card. Gives you an amber when you play it, and it says move an enemy creature anywhere in its controller's battle line and deal 2 to that creature for each of its neighbors that share a house with it, which is really cool. It allows you to pop something and to just manipulate your opponent's battle line, which I think is a really neat addition to the game. Sanitation Engineer is a 4-power creature cyborg scientist that has Hazardous 1, and it has Reap. Discard a card from your hand, which is kind of a bummer, but at the same time, if you just Reap and discard cards you don't care about playing, then it's a little bit of churn as well, which is kind of nice. Depends on what you have in your hand, I guess. Information Exchange is a really cool card. It says play, steal 1, and if your opponent stole 1 from you on their previous turn, you get to steal 2. So just straight up, just take 2 if they stole from you. Hologramophone. It's an artifact that gives you an amber, and then it has action, ward a creature. So here's ward effects in Logos, which works nicely with the ward effects that we saw in Saurian. Hapsis is a creature mutant scientist. He's a 5-power, and it says after an enemy creature is destroyed fighting him, ward Hapsis and draw a card. So even though we're in a different house, we're still having synergies with ward, which I think is really nice. I prefer that. And finally, a really cool card, Daughter, creature cyborg scientist, 2-power, elusive, and then during your draw card step, refill your hand to 1 additional card. So it's a slightly harder to kill mother, but also slightly easier to kill if you don't use fighting. Elusive keeps it alive in combat scenarios to a certain degree, but the 2-power makes it susceptible to cards like, I don't know, Positron Bolt, even, which is just in-house. And there's a ton of stuff out of house that you can play as well that kills a 2-power creature. So this is a nice way to tune back mother and mother-daughter relationships, obviously. So that is the second deck of the 2 that I bought. I'm looking forward to picking up a full box of this set. I really like the new stuff that they're going with. I really hope that I get to play more. I've been playing online, but have only gotten to make the tournaments that are in person only a few times. One of them I got to play in like a big old release day thing, and that was super fun. So hopefully they do another one of those for this set as well, because if so, I will be totally into it. Tell me what you think about these decks in the comments below. Tell me what you like. Tell me if you like the new sets so far, what you've seen of it. Tell me if you think this Mab the Mad card is sweet. What do you think of the art? What do you think about the new houses? I'll check out your comments below, and as always, thanks for watching.